What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm going to talk about narcissists today. And narcissists are miserable, miserable people. They are very, very negative. They are very, very unhappy. And, you know, the reason why they're so mean and unpleasant and why they treat others so poorly and have probably treated you poorly if you've watched this video, if you're watching this video right now, is that's what they have on the inside. They're miserable people. They're not ever happy with anything. Nothing satisfies them. They go around their whole life in a constant state of frustration, annoyance, fear, shame, and they project that onto, other people around them, and they don't want to show the nasty person that they are on the inside. They don't want to show that to the world. So they put on a mask and they pretend to be happy. They pretend to be a nice person. They pretend to be doing well in life. They pretend to be decent. They pretend like they know what they're doing. But deep down inside, narcissists feel like losers. Narcissists feel like failures. And narcissists deeply, deeply hate themselves. They are the most self-hating people in the world. And sorry, I got a hiccup here. They project that self-hatred out there onto other people. The hatred they have for themselves, they project onto others and, treat other people very hatefully and in a very nasty way. They lack self-control and they don't have control over themselves or over the things around them. And, they have a very weak sense of control over their life. So because their sense of control is so weak, you got to deal with all the controlling BS, all the power games, all this stuff, because it's their own lack of control that they're just projecting onto you. And same with all the jealousy and all the envy and all the measuring to see who measures up where, and, God forbid someone do better than them in life, and again, like, they don't like themselves. They deeply, deeply, don't believe themselves to be good enough. So they have to tear down the achievements and the accomplishments of other people because of that, That's how it is with these narcs. Let me get some AC on in here. But yeah, that's what it is. They deeply, deeply hate themselves. And they're very miserable people, and they go around their whole life in a constant state of impatience and frustration and misery, and things are never good enough, and they'll never be happy. Nothing you do will make them happy. You could be their biggest doormat. You're trying to do everything, to walk on eggshells, to do all this crazy stuff to make them happy, and it's not possible to make them happy. Making a narcissist happy is like you got some old junky computer and it barely works, and you have to plug the cable in this way and bend it like that, and you gotta only do, it's like making them happy is just, it's like impossible. It's like trying to keep your old iPad or whatever working, and the screen, this spot on the screen is busted, so we got to go around here. And that's what your relationship with a narcissist is like, is you're always constantly having to do all this type of stuff to make the relationship work. You have to stand on your head to make the relationship work with this miserable, miserable person. And look, like in the analogy of the broken electronics, that old iPad that the spot on the screen doesn't work, and you gotta plug the charger in just so to get it to charge, and you got to do all this stuff, and then you got to always turn the Wi-Fi on and off because the Wi-Fi will disconnect for no reason, and just get rid of it and get a new one, But people are so, like, clinging on, like, if I just do this one more thing, the relationship will work. And that's sunk cost fallacy, It really is. It's sunk cost fallacy. You're not going to make this relationship work with this person. It's just going to deteriorate worse and worse, and you're going to take the brunt of the pain. You're going to take the brunt of, these nasty things they got to say to you all the time, and them trying to cut down your self-esteem. And, here's what it is. It's like a narcissist is like someone who's drowning in a pool of water, and you're reaching in there trying to save them, and they're doing everything they can to just try to push you under the water and drown you with them. They're doing everything they can to do that. And at some point you have to say, I'm not going to throw you a life vest. I'm not going to take your hand. You're going to just drown. And I'm going to be on dry land, and I'm going to be doing good, and you're going to be drowning under the water, because I'm not going to deal with this stuff. I'm not, and you guys shouldn't. You shouldn't deal with it, because everything is just a broken situation with them, and they're so delusional. Before they gaslight you with their own delusions and try to get you to believe in delusional things that are not good for you, they are delusional within themselves. They don't want to face the fact that they are a bad person. They don't want to face the fact that they are unhappy. They don't want to face the fact that cosmic justice is going to come to them. They don't want to face the fact that they are in line with darkness and with evil and with Satan and with, they don't want to face the fact, whether you believe in, I personally believe in God and believe in heaven and hell, and whether you believe in that or not, you can just think of that metaphorically, or literally. But like, there is hell around these people, These people carry fire and brimstone and negativity and pain and suffering. They carry that around they carry that around them. They carry that all around them, that negativity, and like with the gaslighting, they're doing all this mental gymnastics in their own mind. So that argument they started up, they're going to do mental gymnastics in their own mind to tell themselves that that dumb argument they started up out of nowhere was justified, when in fact it was not. And they do this to themselves daily. Like, I used to work with a narcissist, and he was telling me about how there was, a FedEx truck blocking the street. And when you live in the city, you got these super narrow streets, and you got parked cars on both sides, and, you can theoretically pass 2 cars at a time, but really you have to go 1 car at a time, and someone has to pull into a spot off to the side, let the other guy through, and it's just kind of a cramped city street situation. And there was a FedEx truck blocking the road, and he's honking his horn, yelling at the FedEx truck, and freaking out at the FedEx truck guy, just being negative and telling me the story and acting like, yeah, no, he should have moved his truck, and he was right in the way, and I'm honking the horn, and he's not moving. And there's no perspective to think that, like, hey, like, people are getting their packages, this is a very tight city street, and these things are just going to kind of happen, and he's got to do his job. But he's honking the horn, I'm yelling, move, and I'm yelling that at him, and he's telling himself in his own mind that was a justified or a normal response. I didn't want to fight with this guy, so I'm just like, I wouldn't have done that, but that's what you did, because I don't want to get dragged into an argument, and I just want to keep these people at arm's length and not conversate with them or hang out with them at all. Not be mean to them, but just, like, there's some people I'm going to hold close to my heart, and there's some people that I'm going to keep at the end of the palm of my hand. And these narcissists, keep them at the end of the palm of my hand, but it's just constant stuff like that. It's constant negativity, and they're constantly in their own minds convincing themselves that it's okay, and convincing themselves that they're happy, and that's the biggest gaslight that narcs do to themselves, is they try to always convince themselves that they're happy. I'm happy, I'm having a good time. And like, narcissists will not admit that that they're struggling, unless they're a covert narcissist who wants to play the victim and gain sympathy points. They're not going to admit that they're struggling or suffering or having a tough time, or that they're unhappy, or that they're lonely, or that they're isolated, or that they don't feel like they people like them, or they're not going to admit that they're really just completely divorced from their life purpose, that they have no emotional regulation whatsoever, that they have never grown up past the bratty toddler phase of life. They won't admit to these things to themselves. They cannot get honest with themselves. They cannot reflect or look themselves in the mirror, and it keeps them miserable. It really does. And they're never happy. they are never happy, you know, and it doesn't matter. Even if they are successful, they are not happy. The vast majority of narcissists that I have known are losers and are not successful and are not happy and are always crying about this thing at university didn't work out, or this thing at the job. And, you know, it was things they did where their ego got in the way and they self-sabotaged and they messed up their own future and they were egotistical and weird and they didn't deal with things properly, you know, and then it's everybody else's fault that they got fired from the job. It's everybody else's fault that the relationship didn't work, and they want to blame it all on their ex. They want to blame it all on their job. They sometimes want to blame it all on their own children. I've heard that, you know, and it's everybody's fault but their own, you know. These narcissists are allergic to accountability, you know. Accountability is like kryptonite to them. For them to be actually accountable to their own action, they will never do it. They'll give you some fake, if they're scared you're going to leave, they'll give you these fake apologies and they'll tell you, oh, you know, I'm sorry, please take me back, baby, blah, blah, blah. But then watch, give it a week, in less than a week, give it a few days, they will be right back to their old tricks and right back to their craziness, you know, and they want to hold you hostage and drag you down into their crazy, deluded, demented world that they live in. You know, they do. That's their thing, is like they live in their own weird planet because they have like isolated. And like, I live in the collective reality. I live in, you know, the world that is created by God. And again, if you don't believe in God, whatever, but you know, I do, so I'm going to frame it in that reference. But like, I am connected to the collective consciousness that we all share. I realize that I am a person, and that guy across the parking lot from me is a person, and we're all kind of here, you know. And then we got the animals, and we got all this stuff, and then above me there's God and the angels, and like, there's things that are bigger than me, there's things that are smaller than me, there's things that are the same size as myself, you know. And we're all like one, we're all connected, you know. But with narcissists, there is a like isolating sense that we're all divided, and that I am like kind of and they have to like have this mercenary kind of mentality where we're deep down in their heart, they don't feel like a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood or community or any kind of real connection to their fellow. And a lot of times they will form a lot of superficial bonds and superficial connections, but it's transactional relationships with the narcissists. You know, it's not like, oh, you're cool, I'm cool, let's chill, bro, yeah, you know, let's hang out and have fun, just like two little kids would. It's very transactional, and I found that narcissists are generally trying to either buy your love or use mind games to get your love. Usually both. You know, in terms of buying your love, they come in like this quote-unquote amazing person in your life, and oh, I'm going to take you out to this concert, I'm going to take you out to dinner, or I'm going to show you this, I'm going to show you that, we're going to have this big, great time, it's going to be awesome, blah, 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 blah. And they seem, a lot of times they'll do this thing where they love bomb, and they seem too good to be true at first, and then you get in a relationship, or you start hanging out with them as a friend, or whatever, and they turn it around and start acting really mean and nasty, and you're already emotionally connected and emotionally invested, and, you know, you already have that bond with them, and you don't want to just cut that bond off and throw that bond away. But it's not a good bond to have, because you're in a bond with an evil person, and it's bondage. They're trying to, on some level, enslave you, steal your time, steal your life, you know. And then they have somebody else they can just project their misery onto, so they don't have to live in their own misery, you know. Because if they're alone, like, we do fine when we're alone. I'm alone, I'm doing fine. It doesn't bother me, you know, because I have love in my heart, and, you know, I am a decent person, you know. I try to be a decent enough person, and, you know, I'm not a perfect person. I have my bad moments like anybody else, but, you know, I self-reflect and try to be decent, you know, whereas these narcs don't. And if they did self-reflect, they can't do that, you know, so they have to have somebody else to, like, project their negativity onto, and that's really what it is. And some people describe this as having their life force drained out of them, and I think that's a good way to describe it, but it's more like this other person throws all their negativity and emotional baggage onto you and wants you to then carry all this emotional baggage around for them, you know? And that's what they do, you know? And again, like, they're not people who really feel any genuine sense of connection to others, you know? It's all superficiality. And you'll see with these narcissistic hives and with the narcissists and their enablers, like, there's zero deep conversations. There's zero actual connection. They're just sort of all clumped together, you know? They're just sort of all clumped together, and they're all kind of, we really talk to them, they don't like their friends, and these narcissistic hives and these narcissistic clusters, they are constantly gossiping about each other. They're constantly annoyed at each other, and they just drain each other's energy and drag each other down, and, you know, they dislike being around each other. And, you know, I'll hear them, and they gossip about their friends constantly, and I'll hear them talk about, oh, my friend, he's so egotistical, he always thinks he's right, he has such a big ego, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of thinking in the back of my mind, it's like, so do you, and that's why you two fools hang out together, and you fools can have fun. Bottom line, you know, you fools can be miserable together, because that's what will happen to them, and that is what happens to them, you know. And as they get older, they just get more and more weird and more miserable, you know. And they try to put on a mask and act like nice people, but once a little pressure gets put on, before you know it, they're screaming at somebody, they're yelling, they're tripping, they're freaking out, you know. And like, they also, like, narcissists are like suck-ups and kiss asses. They are, you know. They have that side to them as well. You know, they're just fake people. They're incredibly fake. And it's like their dichotomy is kiss the butt of the person above you and then take a crap on the person below you. That's how narcissists live and think, and that's how they rock, and that's how they roll, and they try to perpetuate that type of a system. And, you know, and it's like, it might feel good to get your butt kissed, but after a while you realize this is fake. This person doesn't really have me. This person is just trying to give me the puppy dog eyes and act all interested in my stuff and act all like my good friend, but they are not that way, you know. And I've seen that, where some narcissist thought I was some big cool guy and is coming up to me and sucking up and trying to get me to like them and trying to get me to be interested in them. And it's like, a lot of narcissists want to be like the teacher's pet. I have met some covert narcissists, and they were very interested in sucking up to the, you know, and it's cynical, the reason why they do it. They're trying to become like, you know, and this fool really took pride. I mean, this guy was a cockroach. He took pride in being the teacher's pet and in being the biggest suck up and the biggest kiss ass. And, you know, they take a lot of pride in that type of stuff. And again, it's something that some miserable weirdo does. Like, these people are miserable weirdos, and they just move funny, you know? The way these narcissists move around is so funny, and it's so strange, and it's so weird, and it's not normal, you know? It really isn't, because it's like, they don't move around with, I mean, it's like, when I move, I try to move with, like, goals I'm accomplishing, things I'm trying to do, and, you know, places I gotta be, and whatever, you know. I just move around like that. They're moving around like, I gotta get supply off this person, this person, I made them too mad, so I'm kind of hiding from them and avoiding them, and oh, there's somebody I can get supply from, I'm gonna go swoop in on them, and there's someone I'm sucking up to. But they just move around strange, you know. The way they move around through life, and the way they navigate, and the way they just their whole movement and their whole way, and you'll know it. You know, they just move strange. They move funny. There's something off about their rhythm. There's just something very off about them, you know. And it's a lot of people like this in the world. Again, a lot of narcissists in this world who move funny and who move strange, and a lot of them that are looking to come into our lives and to cause problems, you know. So you got to really be careful. You do, you know. And Like, deep down inside, narcissists want approval. Deep down inside, narcissists feel very rejected. You know, they do. And deep down inside, they want to gain approval and get other people to like them, but they are going about doing so in a very evil way, and in a manipulative way, and a way that's trying to, like, control the results. Because that's the thing. Like, if someone who is secure in who they are, and who is good with who they are, and who is, not an insecure weirdo, won't need to control things, and won't try to set things up to where they'll get this certain outcome. It's like narcissists try to socially engineer things. They try to engineer something so somebody will like them, or someone will be their friend, or someone will think they're cool, or whatever, They feel the need to do that, and because they feel not good about themselves, And because they feel not good about themselves, they have to have this big projection of ego. They have to bully somebody. They have to do something to, like, make themselves feel big. I gotta feel bigger and better than other people. And oftentimes that will involve putting someone down, That's what it'll often involve with the narcissist is, a lot of put downs and a lot of insults and a lot of just mean, nasty, bad treatment, because if they could treat someone else bad and treat someone else wrong, they don't have to think about how much they hate themselves, and they can be temporarily distracted from that, and they can say, well, if I can make this person smaller and feel small about themselves, I won't feel so dang small about myself, And I mean, the narcissists are the smallest people. They are the smallest, most pettiest, most little insect kind of people. And it's why they have to play all these games. It's why they have to reject you. It's why they have to do all this passive-aggressive stuff. It's why they have to make smear campaigns. It's why they just double down on all this negative stuff, They are deeply, deeply self-hating people. They are people that do not believe that... They don't believe in goodness, They are deeply evil people. They don't believe that you can do things through good means. They don't believe you can get something done by telling the truth. They don't believe you can do something from a place of love. So they get things done by manipulating, being dishonest. They do, It's how they get things done, through dishonesty and manipulation. They get things done through hatred and through jealousy. And that's what motivates them and what fuels them, And their self-esteem is entirely tied to what other people say about them, So they have to do all this stuff to try to get other people to think they're great and all these kinds of things. And a lot of times that often involves bullying another person and gaslighting another person and trying to really make this other person see the narcissist as this godlike figure through manipulation and through bullying and through trauma and through bad stuff, like for example, it's like you'll try to go talk to the narcissist and they'll act like they don't have any time for you, and what are you even doing talking to me, and you're not good enough for me, and all this stuff. And if you're insecure too, you're going to come back and say, I have to win this person over, and they rejected me and I have to get them to like me now that they rejected me, I need to get them to like me and all that stuff. And then once you do that, you fall into the trap, and then before you know it, they're setting all these goals and objectives for you and making all these rules for you, and it's impossible to meet, and you're always trying to look for their approval. And that's not someone's whose approval you should want. You should not want the approval of a narcissist, but they manipulate things and get things to where you see them as an authority figure. You see them as someone that you want to impress, and it's the exact opposite. Really, they want to impress you, but again, they flip it around because this is the only way they can cope with life. And once they get in this mode, they're very, very cold. They're very, very nasty. They're going to milk this for everything that they possibly can, and they're going to treat you as mean and nasty as they possibly can. And for any amount of approval you are looking for them, they will dog walk you as much as they possibly can with that. They will constantly dangle that approval in front of you and pull it away. Because look, they are mean, nasty, cynical people, and they want to bring destruction. Like, you don't know how evil these narcissists are. Like, they want to kill, steal, and destroy. They want to steal your happiness, you know? They really do. And it's like, because they're so miserable and unhappy, they want to drag us down to their level, and they want to see us unhappy. They want to see us miserable. They want to see us in emotional pain the way they are, you know? They want to drag us down to their level. They do, you know? And they're jealous of us, and they want to hurt us through manipulative and covert and tricky means, you know? That's the bottom line, you know? They want to drag us down and to hurt us, and they won't stop until they have destroyed your life entirely. That's the end goal, is to destroy your life and actually to put you in the grave with all the stress they put on you. They literally want to kill you. You know, like, I can't stress that enough. They want to end your existence. That's what the narcissists want to do. They want to get you so stressed out and in such a bad state, and like, the more you give, the more they are going to take. You know, that's all it is with them. They are going to take, and they are going to take, and they are going to just, until you have nothing left to give. And once you have nothing left to give, they're saying, why can't you give me more? You know? And it's like, you're never going to rest with a narcissist. If you're living with a narcissist domestically, it's the weekend, you're chilling on the couch. Why are you on the couch? Well, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you're not good enough. This isn't good enough. And if only you did this, I'd be happy. And if only you did that, I'd be happy, you know? And then you're like, well, I'm going to try it. And then, you know, they're just trying to dog walk you as much as possible. And they're constantly moving the goalposts and constantly setting all these, you know, these things that like they want you to do. And if only you could do this, I'd be happy. If only you made more money, I'd be happy. If only you were more this, I'd be happy. If only you were more that, I'd be happy. And it's never enough. It's never going to be enough. And you're never going to make these people happy. And they're going to keep doing that until your life is destroyed, until your mental health is destroyed, until your physical health is destroyed. They're going to destroy you. That's what these people want to do, is slowly but surely, sometimes quickly, they want to destroy you. Like, these people are evil. I can't stress that enough. These people are just evil and miserable and unhappy and nasty. They are just nasty. And that's what they want to do, because they are jealous of you. And they want to destroy your life. They don't get happy seeing you do well. If you do well, they see that as like, well, now he won't need me. Now she won't need me. That's all they see. That's all they see, is that they are going to become less of a part of your life, you know? And so when you start to do well, they don't celebrate, you know? They don't celebrate at all. They're just, because they're 100% selfish. Everything is about themselves. There's no like, we got to help other people. There's no like, we got to look out for other people. There's no, we got to be respectful to other people. There's none of that with them. They don't have that. It's all about me, 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 me. They are 100% self-centered, self-absorbed creatures. And it's all that they think about. And and like, that's a very insulated way to be. And when it comes to things outside of themselves and things in the greater world and stuff like that, like, they don't have a good sense of it. They're just in their own weird world, and they want you to join them there. And you got to exit that. You can't be a part of this weird world with a narcissist. You cannot, you know? You really, really can't. You can't be in that world with them. It's a bad place to be, you know? And like, again, no sense of other people, no sense of caring about others, no sense of compassion for others. It's just about, what can these other people do for me? They don't give anything. They just take. They just try to use people. That's all it is with them, is how can I use people? How can I manipulate people? How can I control people? That's all it really comes down to with them, you know? It is. And, you know, don't buy their sob stories. Don't buy their, oh, I'm just a sad person, whatever. Don't buy it, you know? And like, let them be pathetic. You know, don't give them supply. Don't embolden them. Don't empower them. Let them be weird. Let them be pathetic. Let them be unhappy. Let them ruin their lives, Let them ruin their own life, because that's what they will do. Step back and let them ruin their life. Step back and let karma come. Step back and let God punish them, because that's what's going to happen. All this negative stuff they do is going to manifest negative results in their life. God is going to put weeds in their garden. God is going to send locusts to eat their crops. They're going to have bad luck, in other words. They will. Very bad luck. And they're just also, they're just like immature little children in the end of the day. They are very immature little children, and the thing is they have a lot of people who enable them. They would not get as far as they get if it wasn't for all the enablers. But for every narcissist, there's an enabler or two, And that enabler will go along with that narcissist stuff. And that enabler will parrot the narcissistic gaslighting. And it really, you'll be hearing this gaslighting. I talk about this in other videos, but the gaslighting they do, it happens as a group. So it'll be let's say your dad's a narcissist, and then your mom's a narcissist too, and your dad will have some narcissistic thing, and your mom will go, or rather your mom's the enabler. Sorry, I said that wrong. And then your dad will say some narcissistic thing, and your mom will go, yep, that's what your dad said. It's right, or you'll have some narcissistic woman, and she's got her little clique of Jezebel girlfriends, and she has all her nasty stuff, and they're there supporting it, and you're trying to deal with this. And they're saying, yeah, you should have got her better flowers. She deserves better. You should have took her on the trip to Miami. She deserves that. And, and if you're not strong-minded, you'll start to believe in this. But then if you're strong-minded, you'll say, I'm a person too. If you're strong-minded, you'll say, I have needs too. What about my needs, And I literally said that in relation to a narcissistic coworker who was dealing with, and this guy was just raging out at everybody and everything. And they're like, oh, he feels bad. He's angry. He's in a bad mood. He feels that way. I'm like, okay, great. What about how I feel? And they're just kind of, what? How you feel? Well, it only really matters how the narcissist feels. You should just kind of take it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I have bad feelings about this. My feelings matter too. I matter too. I'm here too. You're here too. Your feelings matter. Who you are matters. It's not all about the narcissist, but these enablers, it's all about the narcissist, and nobody else matters. They're the main character, the director, they're everything, and you're just some extra. And I'm saying, no, I am not just some extra. That main spot is for me, and I'm not going to let you steal it. That spotlight is for me, and that spotlight is for you, and the good gifts are for us, not for them. So, we got to walk away from them. And you have to walk away from the enablers too. All the enablers, all the flying monkeys, cut them out as well. They are not your friends. And that was a hard part for me, is to really realize that. But anybody who is in any way adjacent to this or connected to this, gone from your life. Gone. Don't even talk to them ever again. Just get them out. And I mean, some people you're going to have to talk to them a little bit here and there. You can't just cut everybody out necessarily, but if you can, get rid of them. That's what I did, I wasn't going to be around them, period. And, it happens as a group, it happens as a community, and people choose to enable these selfish people, embolden these selfish people, and oh, that narcissist, he's so great, he's so handsome, he's so funny, oh, he's awesome, or oh, she's such a nice girl, and oh, she cares so much, and she's so pretty, and we all cater to him, we all cater to her. You have to say, if anybody is like that or doing that, don't hang out with them. Do not be around them. I'm serious. They can all be miserable together. They can all do this crap together. You have to say no to these weird miserable narcissists, you have to say no, because they will drag you into their miserable world and into their miserable lives, and they will make you miserable. You know, I've recently stopped feeling miserable because of the time I've had away from these people. I've had a solid maybe 2 years or so away from these people, you know, and I'm really starting to feel a lot better. Mentally, physically, emotionally, everything, you know, because I'm away from the misery. But hanging around the misery, if you're around misery, you're going to feel miserable, you know. If you hang around misery, that misery will spread to you and you will start to feel miserable. That's just the way it is. If you hang around positive people, nice people, cool people, you will start to feel positive. Hang around good people, you'll start to feel good. Hang around bad people, you'll start to feel bad. And most people are negative. I wouldn't say most people are narcissists. I would say maybe about half the people are narcissists, but most of the people are either enabling narcissists or have some narcissistic tendencies, and they're not like full-on narcissists, but they're just kind of bad. They're kind of like not the best, you know. You got a lot of mediocre people who are very gray and dull, and you can barely have a conversation with them. And you know, you just have a lot of people that are just not. They're not going to give you positive things. So hang around positive people, and you will have positive results. You'll feel positive. You'll be in a good state. You know. Yeah, and just don't be around these miserable narcissists. You know. So yeah, thank you all for watching. God bless. And yeah, you know, the Truth Tiger loves you all. I appreciate you all. You know, really, it's a lot of love from me to you all. You know, we all got to do this together. So everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, watches, whatever, I love you all. Even some of the trolls I got love for. You know, I'm not going to enable a troll, but even the trolls I have some love for. So yeah. I will see you next time.